From a different point of view, it was really fantastic because this culture is so rich of creativity. It was very easy to produce bags, shoes, and accessories. It was really fantastic experience. When you always work with culture like Africa or all the exotic culture, it's really inspiring for a designer because they really have a natural sense of beauty, which is different from us. We are more if you want, our culture is more in some kind of roots. But when I was there, I really found something incredible. You are surprised all the time. Anyway. As I said before, this is the 21st year of costume. And 21st year for us is very important because it's 21st is a magic number for costume. I born 12 March and Carlo 21st, which is when you put the number together. And then all the factory we have in Tiene the number is 21, and the shop we have in Milano is 12. Here is 12. It's very strange. So it's 12, 21, 12, and we decided to celebrate 21 because it's the majority. Before in Italy, the majority was 21 years old. And there will come out a beautiful book, which we work with Assolin in September. This is the way that normally we work. It's kind of way that we work on some sketches, and then we realize the 12. Can you work? And this piece, they are all made by hand. It's interesting because sometimes, when you realize and you design something and then come on real, sometimes it's better and you're surprised. Sometimes it's really awful and you are in love with your sketches and you say, wow. And then when you realize the piece, you say, my God, it's a disaster. I was completely wrong. So it's a really nice moment because myself also I'm really creative on the picture. Sometimes I completely change, when I saw the real clothes because you can open and then you can change and completely another aspect. But this is one of the part of my work that I love more because I study sculpture, and so to feel and touch and move and make the shape, it's a real pleasure. It's physically, it's a real pleasure. My mother and my father, they was kind of trendy family because they opened the store actually 50 years ago. And they was the first street store in Italy to carry, for example, Mary Quant in the 68. The first one also to carry Saint Laurent. They was like trendy 70, 60, 70 couple. They like to go around the world and bring this in the south of Italy. Still now, my mother, she is completely involved in the store, and she have all the best brands from the most classic like Gucci, Chloé, to Balenciaga, Costume National, so she's still trendy. She's a book of fashion of the world, and so when I need something to ask, she remembers everything. And there I learned, I learned a lot because I was growing up there and I was touching, this material. So I realized after when I started to do this job that what I learned was really natural, without any, when you absorb the things and then you realize, wow, I know a lot of things about that, but you didn't realize, how we get that story. So it's still, I have the chance to start to love fashion, very naturally. I'm very busy because in the end our company is more than 220 people directly. We have 3 factories. We have 1 factory in Tiene, which is around more than 60 people, and this produces the garments. Then we opened a factory 2 years ago of shoes in Padova, which is another 65 people. Then we have 1 factory of leather in the south of Italy. Then you have our store. So it's kind of, we are not gigantic company, but we are kind of medium Italian company with the employee and quite a lot of people. So it's you're busy, even when you try to not be busy, you're busy, which is nice. Sometimes I regret when I was smaller because it was everything more, dream but still it's nice because we are an independent company, which is kind of rare. And especially in the last few years, we fight with the gigantic company, and we survive, we grow. Last year, we grow more than 30%, which I think it's kind of nice in a way. This is sometime, the way we are, think that we are project the thing. So we are working, in the sketches, and then we realize the pieces, and then we realize if we like the pieces or not, and then maybe, as I said before, we make the sketch look fantastic. Then maybe when we realize in the fitting, we say, wow, it's not so good because sometimes it's maybe not right, the fabric or the idea is not so strong. So, but always we start from some project, sometimes we make the more clear for, the pattern maker, they can understand. So it's different approach. We always start from some drawing, of course, and the drawing comes from the vision that we get in general. When I was really young, I studied cello. And music still is my soul. And a few years ago, I had the chance I heard it was something about Jim Morrison, and I was curious, so I went to London. It was an exhibition, they sell some pieces, and I get incredible jackets from Jim Morrison, which is kind of velvet, really baroque black velvet jacket, fantastic. And I use it few times. Now it's really under a glass. I think music is so linked to fashion. I think, in a way, in the modern culture, music it's the culture, and we love music and the musicians love fashion, thanks God. So there is this kind of personal relation. Sometimes I have a lot of friends, musicians. We have a lot of friends. We recently, for the last 3 or 4 tours of Rolling Stone, we did quite a lot for Mick, for the guys, a lot of stuff for the tour, for the big band. U2, we make quite a lot of stuff. So it's nice because we have since the big band and even the small band. So it's really transversal in a way, which is kind of really interesting for me and nice. So it's good. 10 years ago was the 96. I designed that glass house 5 years ago. I like this area because it still is kind of old style. This was realized after the Second World War in Italy, like in the 50s. And I bring this kind of transparent, typical southern of Italy light. I need some kind of light and some kind of real sky. So I was thinking a glass house. It was nice. It was difficult to realize because in Italy the rules of architectural rules, they're quite difficult. They don't want to do anything new. But in the end, they liked the project and we realized, so we are quite happy. It's interesting because we have this beautiful water on it, which is part of the system, cooler system, and regenerating the water and still keep, kind of cool the ambience downstairs. So it's really interesting system, how to make cool and keep the water, same water. I like the approach of, for example, the old Saint Laurent, the real Saint Laurent, and Dior, because in a way Dior use this kind of structure like architecture, which I love to work on it. And Dior, in a way, bring everything in the modernity. Saint Laurent, in a way, because bring that kind of structure, but in a way that the woman look more beautiful. And I think Saint Laurent brings some kind of modernity again because he brings this into the prêt-à-porter, which I think was kind of big revolution. And the idea, you know, that the work that you can inspire by many different things, you know, from art to wherever, and bring it again in the real life, it's one of the points that I like to work in Cos Nacional.